Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. And today, ladies, we got a special guest, man. The man needs no introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and give him one, man. Three-time Pro Bowler, drafted the 8th pick. I'm talking top 10 people. Everybody don't go in the top 10. Only 10 can do that, and he was number 8. Super Bowl champion, former Giant, former Cardinal, former Bear, NFL veteran. Antrel Rolle, Exit 1 legend. Y'all, a lot of y'all don't know about what Exit 1 is, but ain't many people can say Exit 1 legend, man. How you doing this morning, Antrel?
Man, I'm fabulous, man. I can't complain. Yourself? How's everything?
Man, I can't complain. We out here in Las Vegas, and I thought it was going to be super hot, but today actually been pretty good, so I can't complain. But before we get started, this is your first time on the channel. We got to do the particulars, man. Take the time. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Like, share, comment, because we got a lot of good stuff going. So, born and raised in Miami, Florida. Now, most people, when they supposedly make it, they move out. They go somewhere else. Not you. You stayed home. You stayed true. Most people don't know you can still be found at local parks, local city, everywhere. You stayed true to your city. What kept you so rooted and grounded?
First and foremost, born and raised in Homestead, Florida.
Oh, my bad.
Homestead,
Go
Florida.
ahead.
You know, we put Homestead on the map, baby.
That's
what
facts.
it's all about.
That is facts.
That's what it's all. Listen, that's what it's all about. You know, for me, that's my humble beginning. You know, that's everything I've known. That's all I've ever known. And, you know, Homestead for me will always be home. So I don't ever see myself leaving the Homestead, Miami area. You know, the reason why, you know, I could have stayed anywhere in the South Florida region, anywhere, you know, New York, wherever I wanted to be. You know, I could have stayed anywhere I wanted to be, but I always chose Homestead because it was close to home. First and foremost, you know, my parents are still there more than anything. And then second of all, you know, I always like the kids to see that it can happen. You know, I was fortunate enough to be blessed, you know, with the opportunity and the God-given ability to make it out and to fulfill my childhood dream, which is to play in NFL. And you know, I think it's always important for kids to see someone who's done it the right way. You know, never any trouble. You know, always had academic first. You know firsthand, Mama Roll didn't play that. You know, and then they have the athleticism to go along with that. And I think it's always good for a kid, for teenagers, children, doesn't matter what age, to always have someone they can look at and identify, and more importantly, talk to, communicate, ask questions, and more importantly, just see it there. You know, see it live in person. You know, when we were growing up, you know, every professional athlete, you know, we saw them either on TV, we saw them in passing. You know, we can't say very many times that we were able actually to have a conversation with them, to pick their brain, to really see them live there in person, to play basketball with them at the court, to play flag football with them at the park. And I think those things are always beneficial for the youth.
No, I think you hit a very good point, man. And one thing that I want to get into, you hit a good point when you said Mama Roll. So to most people, they saw a lot of their examples of the strong black families was on TV. You know, you saw Family Matters, you saw the Huxtables, you saw a lot of stuff. But what a lot of people don't, there was another episode. There was a TV show called The Rolls, man. I mean, you guys had a very strong unit. And what was amazing about the unit didn't stop within the 4 walls of your home. I remember when I was running the halls at Homestead High, you don't go by Ms. Roll office. You ain't supposed to be out in that hallway. Your family was very big in the community. Your father's the police chief. I mean, everybody knew who your family was, not because of a lure and of a title, but because they knew how much they gave to the community. How big and important was that for you to see as your parents being role models that help you mold you to be the person that you are today?
You know, having kids of my own, I have a different perspective of everything now. Growing up, I always knew that it was a huge role that they played in my life. You know, I think that it was, you know, you think that you're gifted, you think that, you know, you come out with this ability and you just have it, right? Or, you know, you think all of a sudden you just have these certain type of mannerisms, or you just think that you automatically just pull out chairs for the elderly or hold doors, so you just automatically say, thank you. You know, now that I have my own, I realized, you know, that's all those things were taught to me. You know, those things were embedded in me. It became second nature. So therefore, I thought maybe I developed it on my own, but all those things were taught to me. Things were taught, you know, if you go sleep over someone's house, you make sure you get up, you make sure you make up that bed. You never leave out without making up that bed. You know, certain things that I now pass down to my children. I teach my children. I'm like, you know, this is what I've been taught. You know, people think I I'm just OCD. No, I learned that from home. You know, that's just me. When you come to my house, it looked like no one ever lived here. You know, go to my brother's house, it looks the exact same way. You go to my sister's house, it looks the exact same way. That's something that's learned behavior. So the role that my parents played in my life was honestly everything, because they taught me hard work. They taught me how to never get up. They taught me how to never be denied, no matter how many people tell you you can't do it or you're not good enough, no matter what the case may be. You know, they taught me to believe in myself and to always fight. And with those things alone, it helped me develop into the man, into the father that I am today. Because no matter, I feel like I can do anything in this world. I feel like right now, if I wanted to go move a mountain, I can find a way how. And that's just my mindset. Like, I don't feel like there's anything that I cannot do if I really put my mind to it.
I think that's a very good point, and that point that comes out for a lot of young people and a lot of parents that's out there, especially young parents. The things that you give your kids, you can show them, you can tell them what you want, but more is caught than taught. They catch what you do. They catch how you act. You know, I have boys of my own, and one of the major things people always say, your boys are so respectful. They are amazed that they have manners. To me, you gonna have manners. That's not even an option. Because when I grew up, either you say it right or you lose a tooth. And I mean, and we ain't going to the dentist on the regular. So you really didn't have many options growing up. So let's transition to that family life. I'm gonna merge the two. Now, Antrel, you was in the NFL for 11 years, long time. You've covered some of the best wide receivers, tight ends in the game. But I have to ask, who's harder to defend? Those people or them twins?
Listen, man, definitely these twins. These twins don't play no games. You know firsthand.
I sure do. I feel
you had the boys, I had the girls.
Man.
You know, hey, you had the hard heads, I had the divas.
Man, I watch on Instagram and I watch how they keep you running. So I had to ask, how is it with twin? I know with twin boys, but what is it like with twin girls, man?
Listen, man, you know, with my girls, honestly, it's a loving experience, man, because my twins, you know, they're fraternal twins, and they're night and day. They don't look alike, they don't act alike, they don't like the same things, they don't dress alike. One's a crybaby, one's super tough, one's very emotional, the other one's very, very hardcore. One used to be the daddy's girl, then she switched out on me. Now she's with her mama, and then they switched roles, you know. But they serve their own purpose, you know. They're both. They're Alani and Azaria. You know, they look at them and you might say, okay, they're twins, but they're complete opposites, which I love, because, you know, I have this daughter I can love on. I have one daughter that is not very affectionate. Now, the other one that's all over me. She's rubbing on my face all the time, you know, just giving me all type of love. So it's different, man. But, you know, I will say that it was quite an easy experience, because, you know, with my son, we learned firsthand that the schedule is super, super important. And we've always kept them on schedule. You know, we've always kept them on a particular schedule. It didn't matter if we were going to Disney. It didn't matter if we were going to special events. It didn't matter what it is. We were never going to deviate away from that schedule. And with my twins, we had the same play in effect. We kept them on a very routine schedule. To this day, they're still on a very, very routine schedule. And it works, because it not only does it allow me to have my downtime, but it allows my son to have his time with mommy and daddy, or time with just mommy, or time with just daddy. And it allows me to have my time with them alone. So we do a lot of things together as a family, but we also do things, you know, amongst one another, you know, with the girls, or just my son by himself. And it still allows me to have my free time. You know, I still get to keep my sanity. You know, I'm not staying up to 11 and 12 o'clock at night just to watch a For Life, or you know what I mean? Or
damn good show,
American.
Though. It's a damn good show now.
You're right about that. But listen, you know, at 8 o'clock, I can turn on my For Life. I can watch my All American. I can do whatever I'm going to do at 8 o'clock, because I know at 8 o'clock my kids are in bed.
Well, you know what? That schedule becomes drastically important. But I do got to give you some bad news as they continue to grow. Because listen, mine are 14 now, and I got the oldest one is 17. As they continue to grow, and they find a way to get out of them bedtimes, they get real conniving, man. Right now, they try to whine out, but eventually they start, oh, I still got this homework I ain't get done. I'm telling you, they get real conniving.
Hey, my son learned that trick already. He learned already. So, you know, we tend to be a little bit more flexible with him, since he's the oldest. And, we can hang. He don't need as much sleep as the girls, man. But listen, he already learned. He'll find out, yeah, hey, Daddy, wasn't I supposed to go over my spelling? No, crap, you already got an A on your spelling test. It was Friday. You good. You done. But hey, listen, he found a way, man.
The progression.
He's trying to beat the system already. I can't be mad at him.
I'm telling you, the progression is coming.
He only learned it from somebody.
It comes natural. They get it from somewhere. The progression is natural, and it is coming. Trust me. You're going to sit back and say, oh, this is what he was talking about. Because I tell you what, my oldest and my twins, they hit me with something every day. Because they'll come back and be like, so you don't want me to get a good grade? Really? That's what you're going to do right now? They'll come with something. So you've been you retired from the NFL in 2015. 6 years. Now, do you miss the game, or have you just taken such of a joy being that stay-at-home dad and being able to be with the kids? Now, most of you don't know, if you don't follow Antrel on Instagram, it's literally a reality TV show, because he shows, you get a chance to see him with his kids, you get to see him at the activities, you get to see a lot of the life, but then, as he mentioned, you get to see a lot of his extracurricular. He goes, still works out, does these bike rides. I saw one bike ride. I don't know how the hell you got to Biscayne, but I'm hoping you didn't ride as far as I think you did. I hope you drove the bike somewhere, but I wasn't going to put nothing out there. But explain that, man. How is this home life doing, and do you still miss the game? What's the balance?
So listen, man, the thing that I think I respect my mom for the most is she always gave it to me raw, and she always gave it to me real. And, ever since I was, in high school or in college, when NFL became, within reach, she always told me, she said, listen, you play the game, you love the game. But never let the game define who you are. Never let the game make you. And, sometimes you understand it, but you don't really fully understand it. And my mom, she's one of those people that reads a lot. She always keep up with the times. She's always internet surfing and things of that nature. So, just playing the game, she always say, you enjoy it. You live the moments, you have fun, but make sure you have an identity outside of these white lines. And it started, to play an effect in me. I started to understand, okay, there's always constantly people asking for your autographs, always people constantly screaming your name. But what's going to happen? How are you going to handle it when those people don't scream your name? How are you going to handle it when you walk by the people and they don't ask for your autograph? Is it going to break you? Is it going to make you feel empty inside? So I've always loved the game. I gave the game everything that I had, each and every single down that I had. And when it was time for me to walk away, I walked away happy, because I knew, for one, that I was durable. Two, I knew that I gave the game everything that I had. Three, I achieved everything that I wanted to achieve on the NFL level. I've been to Pro Bowls, All Pros, Super Bowls. I think I've accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish on that level. And more importantly, I'm able to live the life. And as my mentor, Edwin James, says, create the life that you want to live. And by that, I always knew that whenever the moment came where I had kids, I wanted to be in a situation and put myself in a situation and put my family in a situation where I was comfortable enough to actually sit down and enjoy every facet of my kids' life. Because I'm not a kind of person, I don't like to miss anything, and my kids come first before anything. So if God put me in that situation, to be blessed and to be fortunate enough to maintain and keep, my money in check and make sure that my financials are where they need to be, and within raising my family and being home with my kids each and every single day, then that's exactly what I want to do. Obviously, there were things that I wanted to pursue after playing football. I wanted to get into commentating. I wanted to get into, the media aspect of it. But when I weighed it out, to me, there was just no value. There was no price that you can put on me just being away from my kids. And I knew that was going to take time away from my kids. And, I know that my window of opportunity is very small. When you retire, you have that window. Boom, it's there. You either grab it now, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get it again. And you had to be okay with that. And I was okay with that, because one thing about me is, like I told you earlier, whatever I want to do in life, I'm going to find a way to do it. I'm going to find a way to do it. And, I've been able to stay home with my kids for the last 5 years and enjoy every facet of their life. And I'm still rolling with it.
Well, listen, man, let me put my first offer out to you. I ain't ESPN, but if you ever want to get in the media, we can just start doing our own show, man. We can call it the Roll and Hudrico show, man. We can do sports anytime you want, man. Let me just put that out there. But as you let me know.
Wherever the A, Bro, we gonna talk then. Let's get it right.
You let me know. Now, we talked about the girls, but I want to go to something else with your son. Now, June, he plays. Listen, I don't see him in wrestling. I don't see him in Muay Thai. I don't see him at baseball. I don't see him at soccer. That boy got more sports than I got draws, man. That boy, he done everything. But I've recently seen him working on his footwork, getting in football. But I got a question for you as a father. Football it's a violent game, man. It's very physical. You've played the game for so many years. University of Miami, all about that. You hoping you born and raised. You can't have you coming from where I'm from. If you don't love Miami, something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you.
It really is. So my question for you is, do you hope that he wants to play football and play at that same high level, or do you worry about the physicality of the game for him?
You know, I would be lying if I say I didn't worry about it. You know, the physicality of the game and just the toll that it takes on your body. But I always go back in time and I try to think about when I was a young kid. I remember my brother was 8 when he started playing. I was 5 years old and I couldn't play because my birthday was in December. I needed to be 6 before August. And I just remember myself running down the field. You know, certain things are blurred. You know, when you're that young, you don't remember a lot. I don't remember a lot, but I do remember that. I remember running out on the field. My daddy always had to run and grab me out the field. Run on the field, run and grab me out the field. I remember sleeping with a football. I remember for Christmas, I would get a little Miami Dolphins shoulder pads and helmet. Little plastic little helmet, shoulder pads. I just knew I wanted to play football. I don't even remember the game. I don't remember ever watching the game. I never liked to watch the game. I just knew I loved to play it. And that was just my passion. So my son, which was crazy to me because I don't talk about football with my son. I never have. He may have seen a couple highlights just because it was on my computer, but I don't talk to him because I don't want him to think that he has to do this because his daddy did it. You know, he may be Antrel Jr., but he is June. You know, he's his own person. And I always make that very clear to him. And one time, you know, he just out of the blue, he just started saying, "Daddy, I want to play football. I want to play football." I'm like, I kind of ignored it. You know, I ignored it. I ignored it. I put him in baseball. I did everything to try to not really deviate him from football, but to show him different things. I put him in soccer. I put him in baseball. You know, he was okay. He liked it. But he kept saying he wanted to play football. And I'm like, you don't know anything about football. How you feel you want to play football? So one morning, I'm getting him dressed for school. And he said, "Daddy," this is after like 3 months of him telling me this, "Daddy, I really want to play football. I'm going to be good at it." I said, "How you know you're going to be good at it?" He told me, "Because I dream about it all the time."
Oh, man.
And when he told me that, like me being who I am, he told me that, it hit me. And it hit me hard. And I'm like, if this is what he want to do, listen, I don't care if you want to build houses. I don't care if you want to be a garbage man. I don't care if you want to be, I don't care what you want to do in life. But whatever it is that you choose to do, we're going to make sure that you're going to be the best one to do it. We're going to make sure you get right. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't care what it is. And so one day I ended up taking him out to Kendall Boys Club. You know, back in the days, we call it K-Land.
K-Land.
I took him out there, and I had him out there with flag football. He was out there for one day, and the first time he got the ball, they gave him a little reverse. He went through the whole and took off, and they couldn't catch him. And he the youngest and the smallest one out there. And I'm like,
you trying to hold back?
I said, all right, he may got something. Again, they gave him the ball the second time. Now he got the ball in one hand. He give a move. He shake the boy go out of bounds. He break again. I said, damn. I said, oh. I said, there it is. And then literally the next day he asked me, he said, "Daddy, do people cry when they're happy?" And I said, "What do you mean do they cry when they're happy?" He's like, "Yeah, like, do people cry like when they happy, or do they only cry when they're sad or they're mad?" I said, "No." I said, "You mean like happy tears?" I said, "Yeah, people cry when they're happy." I said, "Yeah, you know, that's just a sense of joy." I said, "Why you asking me that?" He said, "Remember the other day when I scored that touchdown?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, you remember when I slammed the ball down? I said, yeah. I said, where you get that from anyway? He said, Daddy, I almost cried.
Oh, man.
And when he told me that,
sound the alarm.
You already know, bro.
It's
when
over.
He told me that, it took everything in me not to start bawling because I just felt, I said, that boy, he got that bug.
You looking for the Florida City Razorback signups, man. You looking for signups. Ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a new Razorback coming up real soon. June, class of 2031, man. He ready.
Hey, listen, man. But when he told me that, I was like, man, this dude really does feel it. Like he feels football in him. And I'm like, man, listen, the apple don't fall too far from the tree because I was the exact same way. I didn't know nothing about the game, but I just knew I wanted to play it. And so, we got him signed up for flag this year. So I'm going to let him go out there and do his thing.
Well, listen, man, I can definitely understand that. And that story, it had me gassed up. When he asked, can he cry? I'm ready to sign him up. I just ask that you don't send him to South Dade. I'm just going to put that in there real quick. Slide that in there real quick now. No, let's look.
Well, he won't be going to South Dade because we don't live down there no more.
Okay,
so
good.
Oh,
good. Someone got bucking this stuff. Anyway, so let's transition, man. Let's talk a little grown man football, man. The NFL has changed so much. Now, you have always been a physical corner and with physical safety, even when you switch down to the safety. You has never been afraid of hitting nobody. But the game has changed so much with the rule changing, with the targeting, the hitting quarterbacks, and now it's difficult on the defender to make a tackle. How hard is that for defensive players? Being a defensive player and being in the league and knowing that split second you have to make a decision to make that tackle, how hard is that? And do you feel like you could play in today's game with these changes?
I think it depends on the player. For me, it wasn't really that much of a change. It wasn't too difficult because I was never an opponent that liked to strike like above the shoulder pads. Some people coming, like let's say for example, like Sean T. Sean coming and he coming to clean everything up. Your mama, your kids. He coming to clean everything up.
Sean hit everybody like they owed him $1,000.
Sean cleaned me up a few times, and I'm on his team. You know what I mean? His mentality is detach the guy from the ball. So if I'm right there covering the guy, and I'm on him like a blanket, he detaching me from the ball too. So, bro, listen, bro, he didn't care. But I think for someone like him, it would be hard. The game would be so hard because Sean, his instincts were so great, and and his mind for the game was so great that he would honestly catch the defenders, right at the point of the ball, and honestly, shit, just detach them away from the ball. Someone like him, the game would be hard because he made a living off doing that. People around the league honestly feared him because they thought they were going to get knocked loose. Mm-hmm. Someone like me, I was always a hit, wrap, alligator roll tackler. I didn't always go for them bruising hits. Sometimes I go for them depending on, if you made me mad or I just didn't care, or I felt like I had some approval, we yapping during the game. Oh yeah, I'm trying to clean your shit up then.
Okay.
But, for the most part, I would always hit the waist, wrap up, tackle, boom, get them down. So for me, the game really wasn't that hard. That transition wasn't really that hard. But for guys who are used to throwing their bodies in there and really being those big bangers, that's a hard transition because we're honestly taught the point of the ball. Like you want to make sure you timing that ball because if you get there too early, that's a pass interference. But if you catch them right in that point where, their hands are there and that ball hits their hands and you catch them up under that chin area or in that chest, listen, that's what we're taught. We are taught to decapitate them, to detach them from the ball. So you're changing something that we've been taught since the age of 6 and 7 years old. Now we're 20, 25, 30 years old, and now you're trying to teach us a different form of tackling. That's extremely hard. And 10 times out of 10, we're the only ones getting called because sometimes receivers catch the ball and they duck.
Yeah, sure do.
So our aiming point can be right, but when the receivers duck, now our aiming point becomes wrong because now they're dunking. Now it's a head-on-head collision, or now it's us leading with the crown of our heads. But no, we were leading right. He ducked, but the defenders are always going to get the flag thrown on them no matter what. So I think that's what makes the game harder for the defenders. For the receivers, Listen, they got a free trip to Hawaii, fully paid, first class. Anything else they want. And quarterbacks, you can't even touch them.
Oh my God, listen. Quarterbacks playing flag, man. They literally playing flag.
They're playing flag.
They out here playing 7-on-7 and pass.
It's not for flag football. No wonder.
They out here
all
playing.
Made sense.
Yeah, they out here playing 7-on-7 and pass nowadays. It definitely has changed, man. All right, so let's go into that. You named Sean T. You named some of these other different players, so you've seen a lot. Let's take the average Joe into the brain of Antrel. You face some of the best. Let's talk about who, in your opinion, let's name some of give me three of the hardest people that you had to cover, receivers or tight ends, and why?
One, I would say Larry Fitzgerald. Two, I really can't say a particular person. I can give you like a style. Like for me, the harder guys to cover were those short, quick, fast, shifty guys. The bigger receivers for me were a lot easier because I was a bigger corner and I was a physical corner. But, you have those guys like, the Roscoe Parrish or Deshaun Jackson, those guys that can get in and out of cut so fast, and then they also had that straight line speed. So if you didn't get your hands on them at the line,
it's over.
It was pretty much cancel Christmas. It was going to be a long day. So those guys probably, gave me the toughest time. But man, like you had a guy like Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald, you have to beat him to the ball. You can't let him put his hands on the ball because if he touches that ball, it's caught. It's caught. Hands strong. His aiming point was. It was impeccable. It was almost like cheating. It was almost impossible to stop him. Wow. Unless you just did not let the ball reach his hands. But then you have so many guys out there that were super threat. Santana Moss, can run as fast as he want to run on the field. Those guys, man. Like, listen, I think every receiver is, gave cornerbacks different problems. Different matchups. It all depended on the matchups.
Now, I can imagine what type of hell Tyreek Hill is for people nowadays. Tyreek Hill, the type dude, when he get tackled, I would just punch him at the bottom of the pile. Be like, stop it. Just stop. It
really wouldn't even matter. The dude built like a little rock. See him, he got all these traps. His hamstrings like they about to come out the back of his legs.
I think his daddy a cheater.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I take on any challenges. I don't care. That's just me. I would have hated. Oh my God, I would have hated to play against that dude.
That boy, that's something else, man. My God. I watch him just move at full speed and just. It don't make no sense. Last time I seen something like this, and I ain't trying to be funny. This ain't no plug for you. But I remember back when we were shorties, I remember we used to be at Florida City, and it'd be a punt, and you'd be on punt return, and the ball be bouncing, and everybody be talking about, get away from the ball. And it'd be 3 people standing around the ball. They say, get away from the ball. And I remember, you run your little near head at, you run around, and people be standing around the ball. You would jump in there, get the ball, somehow shake 4 people who standing right there, and next thing you know, you running. The coach will be losing his mind until you running up the sideline. That's the only time I seen something like that close and in person, man. Y'all have no clue. Y'all only seen him on the defensive side. All right, y'all think it's a game. All right.
Yeah.
Listen, that's what we need to leak. We need to leak them hidden tapes, man. When we start the show, that's what we're gonna start. When we start the Hudrico Roll show, we gonna leak them hidden tapes, man. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. I was offense player my whole life. Quarterback, running back. I didn't really switch over to the defensive side until high school. Yeah. Man. But hey, listen, I always known what to do when I get the ball in my hands.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
And I think that's a great tool too. I think that's a great tool because even when I played defense, when I would get interceptions, listen. More than half the time, they were going back for touchdowns.
Oh yeah, you trying to get missing?
I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to get missing. You hear me?
Yeah, I feel you.
Listen, that's what it's about, man. Listen, those days, man. Listen, I tell people all the time. I say, high school and college, man. To me, there's nothing like it. You make the money in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, you make the money. But man, them high school and them college days, man. Listen, ain't nothing like it.
That was the best time.
I do anything to go back to them times.
Hey, listen, it was some of the best times, man. High school was dope. I'm telling you what. In college, listen, man, y'all had some good times. Y'all made some good things. And them teams y'all had at the Hurricanes, man, was ridiculous, man.
Oh yeah,
ridiculous, man. So I can't wait for us to finally get back. We on the way. We getting better and better, man. But we know that's a whole nother episode. Nah, training camps. You don't been through a lot of them. Give me a training camp story or your favorite stadium to play in. Give us some, man. People love to hear stories, man. Give me something about training camp. Most people don't realize y'all kind of go through in that time.
Man, listen, training camp. Well, nowadays training camp is different.
Okay.
You know, when I came into the league, we had those 2-a-day practices. You know, it was brutal. It was mano y mano. It's either thump or get thumped. You know, hey, listen, you better man up today because you about to go through it. And you know, and I love that. You know, nowadays we got so many meetings, we got so many walkthroughs. See, I'm the type of guy I'd rather be on the field learning. You know, but now there's so many meetings because of new CBA, is so many walkthroughs, and it's for an older guy, for a veteran guy like myself, it became so redundant. You know, I'm like, got to sit in this meeting again. And, you know, and I'm not the type to go to sleep in the room. I got to be laying down and go to sleep. So I literally be sometimes just hanging on and I just can't sleep. I can't, you know, it was miserable. You know, it honestly got to the point where it was miserable. But I love the game so much. And, you know, I love being a student of the game. I love teaching, you know, some of the younger guys beneath me. But listen, training camp, man, we had some war stories. We had some war stories out there, and just the stadiums. One of my favorite stadiums to play in, honestly, was the Cardinal Stadium.
Okay.
When I was in Arizona, that stadium used to be rocking.
Okay.
Rocking. Listen, man, them fans came to show support. They came, listen, and we weren't good. We weren't good, but hey,
put that out
the
there.
people who came to play the Cardinals, they knew that they was in for a show. We were going to give them a run for their money.
So Arizona.
And we built that team. We built that team from the ground up.
Okay.
We built that team from the ground up. You know, we went from, you know, 4-12, 5-11 seasons to Super Bowl contenders. But when we got that nice stadium, listen, that thing was, it was crunk. You hear me?
Great time.
Crunk.
Great time.
Yeah, great time.
Now,
great time.
You mentioned Super Bowl. You've won a Super Bowl. As a former Super Bowl champion, take me through what it's like when you win a Super Bowl. What's that feeling, man? I know everybody talks about winning championships, but to win the Super Bowl, that's the mecca for football fanatics. What is that feeling like?
It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Me personally, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Just taking on a leadership role, taking on my role, which I had like 3-4 different roles, you know, during that playoff Super Bowl run. I had a lot on my plate, probably more than anybody on defense, for sure. But it was hard because it's not about you. It's about getting 52 other guys on your same level, getting 52 other guys to have your same mentality, getting 52 other guys to make sure y'all have one band, one sound. You know, we have to be in sync. I have to be able to look to my left, look to my right, and these guys have to know what I'm thinking without me ever saying anything or me batting an eye. And that was the hardest part. It was overwhelming. It was draining, and you're going up against Tom Brady. So you already know the point of emphasis that is on that game. You know the magnitude of that game. But I'll tell you this: a couple of years prior, I went to the Super Bowl with Arizona and I lost. That loss helped gain that win for me in my eyes.
Oh, wow. Because
I learned so much from that loss. That when I went to the Super Bowl in Arizona, I was enjoying the festivities. I was enjoying, you know, the hip hop parade. You made it to the Super Bowl. When I went to the Super Bowl with the Giants, I didn't care about none of that.
Business. It was a business trip.
It was a business trip. That's it. You know, it got my mind right. You know, it put my mind in the right place. And I think that's what I gained more importantly, and that's what I think I value more about winning that Super Bowl was the preparation and what it took to become a Super Bowl champion. And knowing that I laid it all out there on the field. When that game was done, you know, people were downstairs partying, having it. I went up to my room. I laid in that bed. I was hoarse. I couldn't talk. Like I literally, that was the only time I played football from the age I was 6 until 32, 33 years old when I retired. That was the first and the last time that I think I ever been pushed to the end, to the extreme. I didn't have nothing more to give. I had nothing more to give.
Man, so won a Super Bowl and you was done. You had nothing left. And that's what every athlete always says. We always say leave it on the field, but that you truly finally got to that point where you was at E in the tank.
Yeah, I had nothing left.
Now you did something that not a lot of people are able to do. You were able to beat the GOAT, Tom Brady. And it just so happens, I mean, we have to talk about the Super Bowl. I mean, why not? So we got Tampa Bay and Kansas City. 53 people, all one band, one sound. They did what they needed to do to get to this point. Who do you have? But yeah, let me ask this question first. How hard is it going to be for Kansas City to go in there and beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl after beating him early in the season?
They're honestly going to have to play pretty much a perfect game. And this is why I say that. I think Kansas City, they have so many weapons, right? They have so many weapons. They have the best quarterback in the league in Patrick Mahomes in my eyes right now. Not saying he's the most talented, not saying he's the most active, but he's the best because to me, right now, he is the epitome of a quarterback finding a way to win games.
Yes.
That's why, to me, he is the best in the game right now. Now, when you're talking about overall talent, Aaron Rodgers, without a doubt, in my eyes. And these are everyone I played against. Now, when you're talking about that it factor, is none other than the GOAT.
None other.
That Tom Brady is a different monster, man. He's a different monster. He has that killer mentality. And one thing about him, you could never, ever count him out. Some quarterbacks I played against, some of the best I played against, we've been able to, as a team, knock them out of games. You see them quit. Third quarter, fourth quarter, you see them quit. I ain't never seen Tom Brady quit.
Damn.
I've never seen it. And that's the scary part about him. You know, that's the scary part about him is that dude, he finds a way to win. When you think about the games that he's lost, look at how he's lost. Man, he's lost nail biters.
Yeah, he has.
He's lost nail biters. But when you see some of the games he's come back from, 21 points, 24-point deficits, this dude find a way to win. Listen, it happens.
Okay, so who do you got winning the Super Bowl then? Let's look. We're gonna put the pressure cooker on you, man. We're gonna roll you up and make you force you into making a decision. Kansas City, Tampa Bay, who wins?
I think Tampa Bay rides to the occasion that day.
Listen, I got to agree with you.
Eight times out of 10, I'm gonna give it to Kansas City. 8 times out of 10, I'm gonna give it to Kansas City. But that day, I'm going with Tom Brady.
And you know what?
And I'm not just going with Tom Brady. I'm going for what I believe he has instilled in those players in Tampa Bay. I think he got them on they have the right mindset. I see a different Tampa Bay team. I don't see the best team in the NFL by far. I don't think they're the best NFL team by far. But I see a hungry team. I see a team that thinks that they can win. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
You know, people always talk about getting on a roll. Like the Giants got on a roll going in. Tampa Bay is on a roll. They won games and everybody made this thing. Oh, they only beat the lower echelon teams. But then when they beat Washington, Washington was Washington. Then they beat New Orleans. Well, Drew Brees didn't do well. Then they beat Green Bay. Well, Aaron Rodgers should have won it in. They keep making a mistake, but what they keep forgetting is week by week, this team keep putting them together one at a time. And I agree with you. I do think Tampa Bay does win the Super Bowl. Everybody is highlighted and they gas over the Chiefs and this offense and what they can do. And make no mistake about it, man. Patrick Mahomes and his super friends are ridiculous, man. You got Mikael Hardman. You got Tyreek faster than anybody else in the world. Travis Kelce might be the smoothest tight end I've seen in a long time, man. So the list goes on and on. You got Clyde Hilaire, you got Le'Veon, you got Damon Williams, and the Honey Badger he just completely resurrected his career in Kansas City. They have the talent to win the game and the coaching staff. But you said something earlier that I really think is key. One thing they don't have is somebody that has that it. And that dude, Tom Brady, he's that dude, man. I don't know. You don't bet against him.
He's a different breed, man. He's a different breed, man. And I think what's dangerous about it is when you get someone with that mindset and it snowball effects to those other guys, now you got problems.
Yes.
Because now you have guys playing above their expectations.
And above their abilities. Because now they feel like
Absolutely.
they can do it. They have that
Absolutely.
juice to think that they can do it. Well, you know
Absolutely.
what? I'm going to go above. First off, Trell, we want to take the time to thank you for coming on, man, taking the time out of your busy day. I know you probably got 12 more tournaments to get to, but this brings me to what I like to call my final timeout. And the final timeout, guys, we went over a lot of stuff this afternoon. First off, for all my parents, what you are giving your kids are what they're going to pick up. So take the time to put into your kids what's more is caught and what is taught. So take the time out to date your kids, sons, daughters, whatever. Make that time for them. Antrel pointed out the importance of being on a schedule, something small things that you can put in to help you and push your family to the next level. I want to thank my Patreon supporters, James Brown, Ernest Aziz, and Mike D from Brickhouse Barbecue for help supporting the podcast and vlog show. And we want to thank everybody else who took the time to tune in. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And most of all, we want to thank our guest, Mr. Antrel Rolle. Trell, you got anything else for anybody else before we let you get out of here?
No, man, listen, I just love to be a part of it. You know, I think everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has a different story to tell, and if I can do anything to help anyone to give back in any type of way, listen, you know I'm all here for it. And more importantly, to help a dear, high school friend. Or my mom would always come home talking about Trevor this, Trevor that. That was her boy right there. He was always a standout guy, very articulate. Always conducted himself well. So in case you never knew that, and I never told you from my behalf, Mama Rose, she was a huge fan of you, man. She always came home talking about you. So,
man, listen, Mama Rose helped me out with a lot of stuff, man. She always been in my corner. I spent a lot of time in her office, man. So she was definitely helped me out. Now, I told you earlier I wasn't playing, so I'm about to retire from the military soon. So you got this beautiful vert down there that I'm waiting for you to ship up to me as a retirement gift. I take care of the shipping. You just let me know.
I got you.
All right, now I got it on wax.
I got you.
Hey, well, look, that's another episode in the books, man. Trell, thank you for taking the time. Peace, and we out.
Anytime, fam. Anytime.